Hey fam, back again. Today we're going to be a little bit biblical, a little bit secular. We're going to mash it all up. We're talking about the 7 deadly sins. Now, for those of you, I'm pretty sure everybody knows, but we're going to go through them anyway. 7 deadly sins, basically it started, Christian learning goes back, I think, roughly 1,000 years or so. So maybe back to the 4th century, so on and so forth. But what we see is it's still prevalent, today, and we're going to talk about how it impacts our lives. So we'll go and we'll name off the 7 deadly sins. First, we're going to go with pride, okay? Which the definition of pride that I found, which can be, all of these are biblically based, so we're going to go with that. Pride, excessive view of oneself, okay? Next one's going to be greed, which is the excessive pursuit of material things. Once again, biblical concept, we're going to work with that. Wrath is the third one. And wrath is a strong anger and or hatred. The next one is envy. Envy is an intense desire for what someone else has. And real quick with that, we'll talk about envy because a lot of times people tend to interchange envy and jealousy, but they're different. We're going to talk about that. Lust, strong passion for sexual desires.
That's the sexy one.
Say that again. Strong passion for sexual desires. Number 6 is gluttony, excessive eating or drinking. I didn't know drinking was part of that, but
learn something new.
Sloth. Now, this is the one where a lot of people might think they know what it is, but other people, they do know what it is. So sloth basically is excessive laziness or failing to use one's talents. And that's an interesting twist on that. All being said, we do know, fam, that it affects all of us. And I think we can all identify with at least one or two. And we're talking about deadly sins because, as the Bible tells us, the wages of sin is death. Hence, 7 deadly sins.
Yep.
B, I know you were very invested in this particular topic. So we're going to let you go ahead and tell us.
I think you need to clarify that because,
I know that's a hard spin to put. Like, what you mean he was invested in it?
Well, I say that because you're
research purposes.
Exactly.
Yeah, not that type of research.
The words and views expressed, no. But
we need that little disclaimer.
What we did, fam, we all kind of chopped up the list and went to particular sins that we thought, are more or less prevalent. So I'll rephrase. Let me ask you, what are the 2 or 3 of the 7 deadly sins that you think are prevalent today in our society? And how it affects our daily living, but we'll get back to that.
I like that. I like that question. The 2 I decided to tackle was lust and wrath. And I feel like both of those, it's not hard to say. You see that in real time. You see that movies about it. You read books about it. You hear about it on the news too much, right? You got wrath when it comes to war, or even I just saw a headline this morning. A guy was in an Uber. His passenger spilled coffee in the car and he pulled a gun on him.
Did he shoot him?
I don't think it said that, but I think the police was called and he might have got out the car. But still, that's wrath about that, I think a big component of wrath is vengeance, right? You spill the coffee, you about to die. I'm gonna put my 45 on you. So,
but he didn't shoot him.
This is the vengeance.
Okay,
but he didn't shoot him. But you put a gun on
it's
me.
coffee.
Look, man, where we from? If you pull it, you better use it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You can use that.
Well, the intent was probably there
for guns and body organs. But anyway,
fair. So,
as you were saying about lust.
Y'all want to get to that? Well, let's.
No. I mean, he opening doors. So
we gonna get there. I promise. Just stay with me. So, and I looked up the definition of wrath too, just to expand on it. It's a strong feeling of hatred or resentment paired with the desire for vengeance. That's why I want to give that little example. And it makes me think about a movie I saw, which a long time ago, favorite movie, but good example. It's called The Wrath of Man. It's about a man whose son dies, and he just goes on a strict path of vengeance to find out who killed his son, why his son was killed, and what's the backstory. And of course, with the word wrath being in the title, you see the wrath. You see this man is killing people, torturing people, doing all these horrible things, right? To find out who killed his son, i.e., it's the 7 deadly sins right there. Well, one of them being because people are dying for this man's wrath for his son. Now, I'm not a father, parent, so I don't know what I would do if
You
my
sure?
son was murdered. I'm sure I'm not a
You
parent.
okay now? Oh, I'm sorry.
Pet parent. So I'm not sure what I would do in that type of situation, but I can say that biblically and Christianically speaking, you should not go to the ends of the earth in that type of way if a loved one has been killed, biblically
Let me
speaking.
ask this question if I could.
Go ahead.
You said it's one of your favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Jason Statham.
Okay, so, and this is kind of, I know we'll probably get into that, but
Mhm.
we're entertained.
We
by
are.
that.
Yeah. Guilty as charged. I love a good Jason
And-
Statham.
So
and-
is
movie.
that a sin? The fact that you
That's,
are
there you go.
oh,
That's what. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
You might have got me there.
We have okay.
You might
And
have got
like I
me.
said,
I
we're
might
gonna
be
get
busted.
into we're
I
gonna
might
talk
be
about this
busted.
stuff.
But it's
we're looking at-
entertainment, like
but
I
we are
said.
entertained. I think
Yeah.
if we go through all of these
Mm-hmm.
sin by sin, we can probably. And I know I have a couple examples,
Yeah.
Myself. But we're entertained. You're entertained by Death Wish, Death Wish 5, Death Wish 6,
The whole saga. But even back before they had TV, the gladiator times.
Yeah,
They was killing each other at the Coliseum and they all woo,
well,
woo, woo,
that
woo.
was, but that wasn't even. That was just for sport. But
It
I'm
was
just saying.
entertainment too.
But I'm saying, yeah, it's entertainment.
Mhm.
But I'm saying, like, this guy is mad, and he's taking out his anger, his wrath on, bad people,
Mhm.
and we're watching it for entertainment.
Yeah, you kind of you invested in the story too.
let me ask this real quick, B, too.
Mhm.
Can and I guess this could go for all of them, but since we're talking about wrath right now,
Mm-hmm.
can wrath be thoughts as opposed to actions? In your opinion?
I'm gonna take it as more as action based. I'll have to pick that because I feel like
Isn't that scripture?
It's
says,
a-
so a man thinketh.
yeah, it is true, but it's also the action as well.
I'm just,
You know what I'm saying? That is valid,
I'm just saying.
But
I'm
I'm just going for
I don't. I don't
my-
think there's a right or wrong.
Because-
answer. I don't.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. I should put it like this. I don't have a right or wrong answer.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. I feel like it's more of it's a tangible thing, right? Because I feel like if we go over to the lustful one, I feel like that can too be thoughts, but it's also a tangible one as well.
So do you think, though, that, let's say, racism is bred, in my opinion,
Yeah, I think
from
it's bred.
wrath?
Oh yeah.
But racism can be thought-based as opposed to
Well, yeah, it's a
actions.
taught learned behavior, right? Because I always give the example, it's not a racist baby.
Right, but I'm saying more so along the lines, let's say, there are companies, organizations that have racist policies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that
People
was
that
a-
have racist
But I
policies. So-
think those are actions.
yeah,
I think
it's-
that does play out in action.
yeah.
Because
So that's
even
why I
if
feel like it
even
can
if
be
I'm
a
thinking
fine line.
racist, if
Yeah,
I don't really do anything to you, I don't
yeah.
know. If,
But if I run the company, I put a policy in. Black people only get 32 hours a week. That thought became action, and now we limit it. But I know you want to get to the big elephant in the room.
Well, no, I mean, because we can stay with wrath for a
Mhm.
minute, because what I see is, for instance, if you want to stay strictly biblical, the
Mm.
narrative that has been created about black men,
Mm.
angry black men,
Ooh boy,
you
Ooh,
know,
boy.
so
good black women too.
yes, that
Yeah,
too.
we are victims of that one.
But see, and again, that's a narrative that's been created by the others.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that term, I think that and we'll get to it, how we can overcome,
Yeah.
these 7 deadly sins. But, it's so much to unpack with that,
Oh.
because again, in my opinion, sometimes people can misconstrue, popping off with wrath and anger.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I
yeah.
had a situation the other day, fam. I won't tell y'all about it, but all I'm gonna say is you should not yell at people when they are in a line at a business that services washing cars. If you're an attendant there, don't yell at people in the line.
Fair.
Okay.
It's a good
So
example.
anyway, but no, I mean, I think too that because you pop off, that doesn't mean that you got wrath. I mean,
No, you just upset or
because
disgruntled.
every now and then you gotta
Yeah, we're
let
human.
people
No
know.
one's just gonna,
Yeah.
Well, like I said, fam, every now and then you gotta let people know.
I think wrath is more so, like you said, like a vengeance.
Yeah, it's fueled
A-
with
a
some hatred. It's
very-
not why you do that.
It's not gonna stop. Or okay,
Racism then.
well, that part, or we can say this, on a hood level, it's on site.
Oh yeah.
Crashing out.
Well,
That's your
no, a crash out is more instantaneous.
Mhm.
On site, you can go for years.
Yep. But as soon as I see
I might have beef with you in 1997, and I haven't seen, but I
Okay,
see
yeah, that's
you.
some
I
wrath.
walk outside today,
2025.
and I'm like,
nonverbal.
is that? And I've been carrying this.
That's a
That's
great example of wrath. That's a great example of wrath. It's a long
Again,
time.
fam, we gonna get to how we can overcome these things that we
Yeah,
see
help
in
me.
ourselves or things that
Carl, who you
we
been chasing
see
down since
with
99?
with other people. So be
Mhm.
the L word. Let's get to that one. So
Love.
Nah, people be confusing it. So let's
do you?
not me, not people.
How do you confuse? I don't confuse
People
it.
confuse it.
Yeah, I can see people confused.
Oh,
Apparently, it's a fine line.
'cause you love the cat, huh? I'm just saying.
Lust.
So yeah, so
So the definition I pulled up on lust is pretty similar to yours. It is out of Google or just generic. It's a very strong sexual desire or a very strong sexual desire for a person. Biblically, just expand it a little bit more, it's an often strong or sexual desire that is considered sinful when it leads to immoral actions or thoughts. So that's why I was kind of going earlier when I was saying lust can definitely lean on being both, whether it's just your I don't know, you got a neighbor you lust after. You're not doing nothing, but still, biblically, we're not supposed to view our neighbor or our neighbor's wife in lustful thoughts. That's a
Ooh.
sin.
Well, and that's just it too. I think we can all agree that one sin can lead to another. Lead to
because
another.
you're
Next
still
thing
staring
you know,
at your neighbor.
you done clipped all 7 of them in one day, in one thought.
It's very possible.
because you just laying around thinking of no, just kidding.
When you was laying around in your
Trying to-
sloth,
trying to-
you
trying
seen your
to-
neighbor.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a scenario
You seen
in
your
my
neighbor, you
head.
started lusting at your neighbor. The husband caught you. Now you got wrath for the husband. And yeah, you can't knock off the whole list in a day. But that was the reason why we were discussing, doing our prep. I wanted to talk about lust because, yeah, it's been around for eons, but we see it today. The Shannon Sharp debacle, incident, lawsuit, scandal, whatever you want to call it. In my opinion, that's a man falling for his lust, and he pays for it, losing his job, losing, I don't know the exact amount of money, but a large amount of money.
Large amount of money.
Credibility is gone. He's no longer with ESPN, if I assume correctly.
Mhm.
Right.
And where'd that come from? Lust, right?
So in your opinion, and Carl, I'll ask you this too. Do you think that it's something that, when it's there, it's just there? Because a lot of times people, they say what's done in the dark shall come to light. Okay, fine
Yeah.
with that.
Mhm.
But as a child, are these things that are bred? Are these things that are innate? I mean, I
That's
know environment has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I think environment plays a strong part in it because I feel like often when you see people that have lust issues or are transparent about them, it comes from like a trauma of sorts, which is kind of plays into that environment thing. So you might have person A that doesn't have issues with lust, right? But they've been in an environment that kind of I don't want to say shielded them from it, but it kept them from being exposed.
I just thought
Go ahead.
college.
Yeah, so
Because when you coming up, you can't do this, can't do
so
that.
it's like you
but
got the good kid that goes into college and
that freshman year, Lord, look at Carl over here. He's reminiscing.
you want to intervene with a story.
See?
I
You don't have to. Okay. I seen the wheels turning.
I don't want to talk about it on camera, but I do.
Okay. So
I do have one. So if we have a post show, that maybe maybe I'll turn
that'd
on.
be IG Live.
Yeah, we
or
put it on
something,
IG Live or
you have
something.
to-
But yeah,
behind the
that's-
scenes.
there
with
you
us.
go. 'Cause-
But again, it's like I feel like that environment can breed it. So, and then you have person B, for example, they had a traumatic childhood, whether it was sexual trauma, they were exposed to just seeing it, or they saw a video, one of dad's VHS tapes that they wasn't supposed to see, and then they like seeing the tapes, and then 14 years later, when you got Google, you know, you get on the internet, it's like, oh, what's this? And now it's just, you know, expanded out, but you got two people at two different paths, and then you take person A and B, you put them in college, and then it's just, I don't have mom and dad shielding me. So I'm like, hey, I can do what I want to do. And those are two different paths, but you see they're going to have two different views on lusts. And then it could be person C, who is, let's just say, at a perfect biblical example growing up. They knew what the Bible says, flee from lust. So person C goes to college and says, oh, I know better. I'm going to flee from lust. And that's hard, y'all. You're going to
I
have to
don't
keep
think that
running.
person exists. But anyway,
they do.
okay.
They just been running all their life.
They just
that's
been-
them homely, them homely
running.
kids.
No, it's the
It's-
people
it
been
might be
running.
some of them.
It's-
It says flee. You just gonna have to
They've
keep
been
fleeing.
running.
Flee.
Man, okay.
I don't think the Bible ended it. It just said flee.
But I'm thinking too. I mean, and I know, you know, not to get too personal, but I think that's one that I've experienced in my life.
Me too. We can
Oh,
raise.
yeah, I
I'll raise
think we
both
can-
my hands.
Yeah, I mean,
So do you think it's more so men than it is women?
I thought so till I got to college.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say it's a 50-50 split. It just looks different.
They good at it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna say
it's-
it's down.
They
the
run
middle.
game on you and you don't even know it.
Yeah, 50-50.
Yeah. I mean, you probably think.
you know what? I think in that age, here's what I believe.
Mhm.
I think that is a catch up of 50-50 in that college age, maybe your, late teens to mid 20s. I think as you get older, the issue with lust is it doesn't really go away in men, or they don't know how to handle it.
True, I agree with that 100%.
Women,
It'll taper
They'll
down.
be able to handle it more.
Well,
So like whatever level you get to as a man, you pretty much stay at that level.
so little fella, what's his name? The gospel man with the gyrating.
Oh,
Kirk,
God.
Kirk Franklin.
Oh,
he
Lord.
he had an addiction to porn. So is that still there? He said he's overcome it.
Well, no, I'm not saying you can't overcome it, and that took work.
But I bet you he ain't watching.
That took
'Cause he
but
watch it, then he gonna go
no,
off a cliff.
but like you said, it was an addiction. So it's the same thing with any addiction.
Yeah, like
But that's what I'm
alcohol, you
saying.
can't have a
I
sip.
think that whatever level he got to, as he got older, it was like, okay, I got to deal with this. It never just said, oh, I'm older now. This is kind of gonna go away. That's one of the issues with lust. I think is different from men and women, and it could be, I don't want women to come on here and say, no, I'm lustful too. But,
Yeah, that's why I gave him a 50-50, so we all in
Yeah,
this together.
But I just think that at a certain age, because of your, hormonals and
Well, no,
time
I want
and
to challenge
space
that.
and-
I want to challenge that though,
okay.
because you remember the Chris Hansen. Them dudes was old.
That's what I'm saying. They never
And they
dealt with it.
leveled up.
But they never dealt. Well, okay, and they
'Cause-
never dealt with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they got
Or
and it just got
leveled
it. Yeah. Or,
Is it level? Because no, they would sit like, he'd be like, have a seat, tell me what's going on, and then he's like, well, the guy was like, I started looking at porn.
well,
and
they've
then
been
porn
doing.
wasn't-
They telling Chris Hansen one thing, but they've been freaks since they was little
Yeah,
kids.
that's what I'm
So,
saying.
I
and
mean,
they
that's,
kept proceeding worse.
But do women do that? Do you see okay? And there are women who are
Hell, these
pedophiles.
teachers.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you see the once
Okay.
in a blue moon, the teacher
But-
done
but
got
look at the
a
Oh,
teacher.
boy.
ain't no once in a blue
No,
moon.
nah,
They-
it's
they getting
coming
it.
around now.
Oh, okay.
But look at the women. Look at them. Those ages of the women. They're in their 20s, 30s for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
Do we really see, not that it doesn't happen, but do we really see 55, 60-year-old teachers still trying to get with their little students?
No, the women, nah. No.
But we
Maybe
do
in
see
college.
55, 60-year-old
Oh, yeah.
male teachers.
That's not going to stop till retirement.
Still and see, there you go. That's what I'm
Still
saying. It's like, so for a man, we really, I think, I don't want to say that particular deadly sins are gender specific,
Oh, yeah.
but that one,
we might struggle with it.
it gets us more than or it's
Yeah, because
publicized more.
it can lead to other things, and
Yeah.
other things come that will evolve into that lust. So I definitely agree. Carl, speaking of greed, that's one of the ones that you had.
So I had two. So I can go with greed because I know that the one that you're gonna hit, I think gonna talk about pride. That was when I looked at it, when I was looking doing research, it said that's considered the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because it covers a multitude of things.
Real quick, what I saw with that was they said it was the worst because it can basically evolve, into all of them.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Greed can be that baseline that evolves into, the other six.
So it can be the baseline and it's the worst because it kind of can encompass the others.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and I've said this for a long time, just personally, I think greed is the most evil. And I say that because people don't stop. It does not. Okay. And we've talked about it on this show, and I'm going to keep talking about it. I don't care what these people say about history or whatever. Slavery was evil. It was evil. American chattel slavery was evil. There was nothing good about it. There was nothing that you can say, well, it taught us how to do. No. There was evil intent. It was just the way the stories, and if you were to go through and actually do the research of the things that were done to people, it was demonic.
It will change your life if you can really, outside, not to interrupt, Carl, but outside of, the typical slave ship diagrams and all that, which I detested that when we were little.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. But
and
if
it
you
doesn't
go
tell you
into
much.
the meat and potatoes, oh my God. So
It doesn't tell you. And it tells you, even those diagrams, okay, you see it, but it doesn't tell you that those were real people in those positions for 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, go to the exhibit. It's traumatizing.
I mean, it's just detestable. And it was all done for profit.
Ching. I wish I had my thing today, but yep.
We when you use the term ratchet it up, started slave trade. It was not a lot of people, okay, 1, 2, 10, 20, 40. Next thing we know, we got to build bigger ships. We got to have a better methods of housing these.
Yeah, you want to pack more and more and more.
More and more, because the more we get over here, the more free labor we have, the more money we make, the more industrial. The whole thing was built on economics. After slavery was over with, Jim Crow and sharecropper, all of that was built on economics. Even today, we're talking about billionaires and so on and so forth. It's still built on a low-class wage for people to make money for people that have more, and we want more money, and we want more money.
Yeah.
And the stock prices are affected. Well, we got to do something about that. Our investors are not making the money that they should. We got to do something about that. The other day, this clown that we got in the White House, he says, well, we got to protect our farmers. We got to protect our farmers. So we're deporting people, but we're not going to deport everybody because we got to keep some of these people here
to pick the
strawberries.
And did you hear all of what he had to say about that?
No, because basically can't listen to much of it.
What he's saying is that the ones that worked on the farm, okay, we're going to give you a special pass to come back and work at the farm. So the owners of the farm, which he said, owners.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately I'm thinking slavery.
Absolutely.
And they'll be able to work. They'll get paid a wage. They'll pay taxes, but they'll never get citizenship.
How about that?
And the same for the hotel industry.
How about that?
Oh,
so we need this cheap labor.
Duh. We just talked about that. That was going to, but we can't get rid of that.
I know it. And it's because the country was built on it.
Yep.
It was built on free labor. Now it's being run by cheap labor.
Cheap labor, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So all of that is based, and it's just evil. It's cutting off people. You got to prove that you're sick in order to get health care. You got to prove that you're in need in order to get. But then you turn around and say, we're the richest country in the world.
We got the most billionaires.
And we got the most debt too.
All of that. You got billionaires, literally billionaires living in the same geographic area with people living on the street.
Yeah, but they live outside the penthouse.
So how much money do I actually need? What can I actually, what is it that I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like I can only wear so many clothes. I can only drive so many cars. But at the same time, I want to keep getting money and keep getting money and keep getting money. It's like, it's just evil and what it does to people. So transitioning, the other one I want to talk about that's right there is gluttony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could pack them together.
So you can pack them together. So let's talk about greed and gluttony. So you have people now developing all types of drugs to administer to people who are gluttonous. And those drugs are set up so as soon as you stop taking them, you're going to go back to being gluttonous again.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this is a lifetime, as they put it in the pharmaceutical industry. It's a lifestyle drug, which means you own it for life.
I'm in the wrong business. Dang.
So I done figured out a way because I know that Twan over here can't put his fork down. And I'll go to the entertainment part of it again, because that's what I say, entertainment part. You got whole shows, My 600-Pound Life, 1,000-Pound Twins,
The Biggest Loser.
all of these TV shows around people who, and I can't watch My 600-Pound Life.
I can't watch any of them, man.
I can't.
It's
I watched The Biggest Loser for a while because I was like, okay, this
You
is
rooting for 'em.
inspiring.
Yeah,
I'm
you
rooting for him. But until I found that once they got off the show, their mental didn't change, so they went right back. So, I didn't win this money.
So they come back.
I'm trying to get this money. Greed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get this money. Well, I'm gonna go back to eating 4 fried chickens for breakfast.
Oh, dang.
So My 600-Pound Life is that. I'm looking at people who can't get out of bed with a hot plate, frying a pound of bacon every morning, and somebody's got to bring it to them. Somebody's got to bring them the dozen of eggs.
So you got enablers.
You got enablers. Somebody, you got whole the food delivery people who coming in the house. Hey man, come on, I got you.
What's up, James?
Yeah.
They know
Got your
you
6
by
meals.
name.
That's not entertaining
I
to
missed
me.
you yesterday.
It's not
kinda
entertaining
sad.
because it's sad. I'm looking at this person kill
Like
themselves
we laughing, but
slowly.
it is very sad.
But it's for public consumption.
Mm-hmm.
So advertisers are making money off of this. The TV networks are making money off of this. Now, okay, we're gonna, like I said, the drug companies. Okay, we want to help you. We're gonna help you. Take this shot. Now, not all of these, Ozempics and other drugs are just for weight loss. They're for other reasons. They were developed for other reasons.
Yeah,
but what
yeah.
they
Then
found,
they figured out is
They
wait
said,
a minute,
"Oh,
you lose weight, right?"
Wait a minute."
Just like you're going back to lust, just like Viagra was supposed to be a blood pressure medication.
But then somebody said, "Boing,"
And then somebody said, "Oh, we can use this for something else." So
You think?
unintended consequences happen, and this is what
Yeah, that's science for you.
So there you go. So the same thing here. Now, so then I heard this part going back. That's why greed and gluttony
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
interchanging.
can definitely
Mhm.
pack
I heard
those.
this. So what is it called? A GL1? Is that the
Yeah,
type of
the
drug?
term. Yeah,
Term. So GL1 drugs,
Mhm.
medications like Ozempic and
Wegovy,
the other ones. Yeah,
Manjaro, and
Manjaro,
that,
all of
right.
those.
Mhm.
They are, to suppress appetite. So with suppressing appetite, obviously they're not going to be snacking as much. You're not going to be eating as much. You're going to slow down your appetite so you lose weight. The snack companies, and I don't know one in particular, I haven't heard names, but I do know the snack companies are now trying to produce GL1 blockers to put on their snacks. So that if you are on one of these medications
Mhm.
and you say, well, I can only eat 2 potato chips. Well, you're going to eat the 2 chips and say, oh, I'm not full yet. gonna eat some more.
So
And I'm
all
gonna
out
eat some
war.
more.
It's
So
just- just
I'm losing
biological
money.
warfare.
It's biological warfare for what?
You went
For
through a
money.
family-sized bag of
For money.
J's.
And the other part is the gluttony part. And I'll just touch on this because this kind of made me laugh because we said all of these kind of affect us. I can I used to be very gluttonous. Because one of the things that it said was not only do you overindulge in food, but you spend time planning and thinking about eating. And I felt convicted. 'Cause I was like,
sat on your
you know,
spirit.
because a lot of times you be like, "Oh, I can't wait till I go here. I can't wait. You know, if you live in the Detroit area, it used to be a place called Mr. Fofo's.
Yes. Famous for them corned beef sandwiches.
Corned beef sandwiches, and that's no lie. Was it like 2 pounds of meat?
God.
Yes.
It's something like that. So I'm 17, 18 years old. My grandmother would call me and say, you got taste for corned beef? No, not really, but what you talking about? I want a corned beef sandwich. If you go to Fofo's and give me one, I'll pay to get you one. Okay, cool.
I love you, Granny.
Love you, Grant. Love you. I'm on my now. She lived on the other side of town, but I jumped my car. I go do what I got to do. Right?
Grandson, yeah. Look
So
out for
here
Granny.
we go. My grandmother would eat on that sandwich probably for 3 days. Because she'd eat a little bit,
Put it up, yeah.
put it up, eat a little bit. She'd take some corned beef, make some eggs with her breakfast. That was I would eat mine that day in one setting.
Love it.
And she
Good
would look
sandwich.
at me and be like, I can't believe you're doing this. And I'm sitting there sweating and smiling and doing everything.
Why you sweat the corn?
2 pounds of meat, man.
You just eating.
And I'm just eating. It's just good.
Ain't
Oh,
Here,
looking-
grandma.
Ain't looking
Right.
up.
And
to take no
she's like,
breath.
she's looking right. She's looking at me like,
Possessed.
"What are you doing? What's going on? Why are you? You don't have to eat it all now. What are you doing?" And I'm like, that was like, oh my God, what am I doing now? Thankfully,
And probably went home and went straight to sleep. I'm gonna lay down.
I ain't,
I was on the
Look,
couch. You can't make it.
depending on what time of day it was, I might have been thinking about what am I eating next. Now my metabolism is different. My body is shutting down. I can't do that. No, I can't hardly eat corned beef. Period. Now I got to plan a week in advance.
Times have
You know,
changed.
times have changed, but also my mindset has changed because I'm like, that just is not necessary. It was not. It was very. This country is built. Have a lot of, a lot of all you can eats.
Yes.
That's not necessary.
Cheap too. So they make it, where you can spend $5 and get 3 cheeseburgers.
Why do I need
Dang.
that? Why do I need to add, 3 extra patties to a Whopper? Why is that? Why is that triple Whopper? Why is there a home run at Wendy's with 4 quarter-pound beef patties? Why do I need?
Dang.
Yeah, you know that
I just get the little son of a Baconator. I can't do the Baconator
See?
no more.
because it's what 2, right?
Yeah, they just dope. Yeah,
That's
it is
a
two.
That's a
Yeah.
half a
Oh,
pound of meat.
Okay, yeah.
God.
And
I
you're
just get the
thinking to
little
yourself like,
Baconator.
I can't.
Make your chest hurt.
Why do I want that? You know what I'm saying? It's like it tastes good. Yeah, a lot of stuff tastes good, but it's like I can't. Why do I need it? And I think that we have to get into that mindset, which is what we're trying. And I know we're talking about overcoming, and I think that's what it is. You have to get into the mindset like, do I really? Is this sustaining me?
But you know what? In talking about both greed and gluttony, those are like earmarks of the United States. Other
Absolutely.
countries look at us
Yeah.
and hell, as far as I'm concerned, need to be a picture on the flag of a fat person eating something, right
Well,
over
they all
there with
think
the
we fat.
stars. Yeah, and
Fat and drunk.
and lazy.
Fat,
So
drunk, lazy.
Yep.
We'll walk into that. I had a couple that I wanted. The first one, which Carl, I think this would probably be a close second since you have greed at one. I think pride is one that really gets us. And the thing about pride is, for me, I've been conflicted over the years because you look at pride and you say, well, okay, it's bad, but if I say I'm proud of myself or I'm proud of my kid for doing something, how is that bad? But
Look,
then
it's
you
a
have to
fine
look
line.
at the way that it's presented, because basically it's taking credit for your accomplishments, and you don't give anybody else credit. You're putting yourself above everything, i.e. God. God blesses us, but if I get that job and I'm like, man, I got that job. Okay. No, you didn't get it. You were blessed to get it. But you, in your mind, I did it.
Yeah, I
did it. So, for me, I think that, that's one that is synonymous with celebrities and people of that nature. For instance, you're talking about this clown in the White House. He take credit for everything good. I did it. I did it. He never gives anybody. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he say he never apologizes?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And has nothing to repent for.
What? Who does that? Because even one of the examples that I thought about too, which encompasses a few of the 7 deadly sins, we had a former mayor here in the city of Detroit, Kwame Kilpatrick. The pride comes into play because the things that he was doing, he figured, hey, I got this. I'm the mayor. Because remember, he had the monogram on his
gotcha.
DA mayor. Okay. You can also put greed in there. You can put lust in there because he went down for a few things,
Yeah.
And even when you think about, as we go to church, we see some of these instances within the 4 walls of our church.
Yep.
Whether it's yourself or whether you see somebody else or, a fellow congregant that things that they're doing or whatever, or they display that. So I think
pride, lust, greed.
Well, see,
real quick.
Run down.
Knock that out on a Sunday.
I'm gonna start thinking. I can probably name a couple more, but those 3 are like.
I think too that with it being, as I started off, the definition, an excessive view of oneself. The Bible tells us we shouldn't think more of ourselves than what we really are. And I think that for me, that's I won't necessarily say that I have exhibited, pride. And if I have, I think it's been misdirected. Because one of the ways that you can combat pride is being humble, being empathetic, thinking about others as opposed to yourself. Because even now I see people that are just me. And I'm saying to myself, how do you sleep at night when the most important person in your life is you?
I want to back up
like
to
a
something
baby,
else
they'll
you
tell
said.
you.
Absolutely. You said you think about it with celebrity a lot. So are we complicit? Other people, outside forces, complicit in making that person that prideful? Because you're right. Celebrity, think about it. Celebrity, athletes, politicians, preachers. People give them so many accolades and so much praise that it's going to be hard. It takes work to stay humble. Because everybody else is telling them how wonderful they are and how great they are. The thing that cracks me up, though, is particularly about this country, is they can give you all of those accolades today, and tomorrow they can tell you in a minute, I'm sick of you.
Canceled.
And people are using the term cancel now, but it's like before being canceled, I think about MC Hammer. And this is just real quick. MC Hammer was just on top. MC Hammer was like a rock star. Had cartoons and cereal and merchandise and on and on and on.
One year he made $30 million.
$30 million to hit records.
That. Wow.
He bought a horse that ran in the Kentucky Derby. I mean, he was just all encompassing. A year or so later, he put out an album. Everybody was like, "Oh, he corny. Hammer is corny." And it just went away. And it was like, wait a minute, what happened? Now, Hammer's a good dude. I actually met him. Good dude. And I think he was able to kind of see like, okay, I need to stay right here. But had he bought into all of that hype and all of that, I'm great, I'm the best thing ever, that would have been just like crushing, and which happens to people. It gets crushed. So I'm like, are we complicit in making these people that way?
Oh, yeah, I think
100%.
definitely. And as far as Hammer goes, Man, he had what 30, 40 dancers on the stage and was paying all of them.
He was
So
a
they say
rock
he's one
star.
of he was a great man. So you can't take that back, take that
It was
away
just
from him.
crazy the way it was. It was just like, it's just, I mean, but we do that to people. We make them so big, and then it's like we take pleasure almost in you ain't all that.
Watching them fall. So that's what we're looking at now with Mr. Combs. So yeah,
Absolutely. Take that. I mean,
that right there.
You
Now
don't want to say
you know,
that.
and then you get
that's what he was saying
somebody might be
with
saying
the
it to
baby
him.
oil.
Take that. You know, and for that though, because I look at celebrities, that have done things and they're so high. And I think too, a lot of it is I'm untouchable.
Yep.
And you've been operating at that level for some time to where you start believing that you're untouchable.
Yeah.
But nobody is. And to me, one of the things with pride is you put yourself ahead of everybody else, including God. And that's the one right there, because I'm a big believer in karma. And it's funny because when something bad happens to me, the first thing I start thinking
What I
is,
do?
I must have did something
Yeah.
to somebody
What did I do?
back in 1998,
Now you going way
You
back.
always
and
think
it's getting me.
But that's good though.
Mm.
I mean, it's not good that it happens to you.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
It's
I'm
good
just saying
you
it's
That
good.
thought, that
The
thought
That
reflection
thought
process.
process is good
good.
because it's like, okay, I'm taking accountability. I must have done something.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why this is happening to me. People that are full of pride, it's gonna be somebody else's fault every single time.
I.e., the man at 1600 Pennsylvania
It's
Avenue.
always somebody else's fault.
I I always look at, you talk about pride and people saying me, but then on the other side of it, I think sometimes, especially with athletes and entertainers, they use that as a motivational tool, but they're not really like that. There are some people that can turn that switch off
Oh,
and
yeah,
on
yeah.
where they give the public this perception, but in private, that's not
It's a whole
them, 'cause
nother person.
exactly, because they know it's a game.
Mm-hmm.
Another one I had, envy. That's a big one.
Mm.
Envy is, in my opinion, destructive because it leads to irrational behavior. And, we talked about it earlier with the definition of envy being intense desire for what someone else has. You talked about how, you can't be lusting after your neighbor's wife. Okay, Bible tells you can't covet.
You shouldn't.
Which
but
envy falls into that. And I think for me, one of the best examples I can use is that from a biblical perspective, the devil envied God.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of times we look at envy and jealousy as the same, and they're not really the same. Because to me, jealousy is like envy light.
Yeah, I feel like
You
it's
know,
a baby.
so
It's a step. It's a step. It's like,
yeah. The devil envy God. So what did the devil do? Got something for you. I'm gonna go into the Garden of Eden, screwing it all up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, you do things that you wouldn't normally do when you envy somebody or whatever. And if you, I think, and I'll throw this out as a question, if you envy, do you feel that this is something that's a part of your character, or is it just because of said feeling that I like that house you got? May not feel that way all the time about things, but is it something that's just ingrained in you? Because I think that can go for all of the other 7 deadly sins we look at.
I think it's
Some are learned behavior, but some I really believe are ingrained in us, and that makes it more challenging to overcome.
Yeah, I think kind of like we were talking about the lust. It's like it grows, right? Because I think like you were saying, like jealousy is like the miniature version. So I
Mhm.
think it starts off like let's go with the house thing. We see this in real life. You got a I don't know, you in an apartment, and then you got the cousin that got the big house in the suburbs and almost a mansion. So you're a little jealous. But you can sit on it like that. But then you got the other scenario. You got something like, well, why can't I get what he got? And now
Or
you
you go out,
stealing.
you start trying
Yeah.
to do stuff to get
Yep.
what he got.
So now you starting to steal, kill.
I remember my mom, God rest her soul, she told me, and I think I mentioned this before one time when I was younger, in regards to envy. She said, number one, of course, it's dangerous, but she said,
Mhm.
you don't look at somebody and envy what they had because number one, you don't know what they did to get it, and you don't know what
Exactly.
they doing to keep it.
Mhm.
And that
Exactly.
right there has kept me on the straight and narrow when it comes to
Mhm.
stuff like this. My thing is, if I see somebody, oh, that's nice, and I leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not. How can I get what they got?
Yeah, because you see that big house. What's your electricity bill? What's
Mm-mm-mm.
your gas bill? Oh,
And-
nope, never
and
mind.
what did Biggie say? More
More
money,
money, more
more
Yep.
problems.
Exactly.
So I don't think that, that's something, even though, I think if you know somebody that embodies envy, do you approach, or any of the 7 deadly sins, would you ever approach this person if you saw something?
Approach them about it and say
yeah.
you have a problem with.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard because I feel like in situations when I or we have done that, it's like the person's like, no, I'm not. Nah, I'm normal. So I feel like it's a very hard thing. I think when you do it, it's two-sided because that person has to be open to hear you say like, hey, you got a problem with greed because you see him chewing down KFC buckets every other day. But like and it's like we see it on
That's
those
gluttony.
yeah, like we see it on those 600-pound shows. People are approaching them about it, but are they receptive to it? Because you got one guy's on the show like, it ain't that bad. It's somebody on 1,000 pounds. So I feel like it's a very delicate situation.
That's the bright side.
Or when my man is telling them, you're not losing weight fast enough, and they say, I'm not eating anything, and it's like,
So now you stuck.
yeah, you are eating something because
Then they cut to the scene where you ordering 6 pizzas.
yeah,
Over the commercial break.
it's like, I think that for envy, and you asked, was it like part of your DNA, so to speak?
Mhm.
I don't have that gene, so
Mm-hmm.
if you would ask me, I would say, yeah, it's got to be part of you because I don't. Not that I don't struggle with any of these 7 deadly boys, but envy is one I don't because I
Mhm.
don't, and maybe it would be because I kind of lean to the pride side because I'll be like, I don't really care what you got. I know what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
So even if you have something, like you said, if you have something that that's nice, but if I want it, I don't care if you can get 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I still want it, and I'm gonna figure out a way to get it from me
Legally.
if I want it. If you do, do have 10 of them, I'm never gonna say, well, you got 10.
I'm gonna take
I
one.
wanna
And he
take
just
one
gonna
'cause
have
I need
9.
it. I don't care. That doesn't bother me.
Mhm.
It does almost want to shake some people that are like that though. Where it's like, why they got this? I need to get that.
Have you ever encountered anybody that's had envy to that degree?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I wasn't close to them, but I've seen it and it was destructive.
Yeah.
They ended up in prison.
Yeah.
So
See, and that's the word that I was looking for, Carl.
Hmm.
In my opinion, if you approach somebody, then it has to be destructive at that point.
yeah.
If I
True.
notice it and it's in passing and whatever,
You
but
need intervention.
if I see you one week, 210, the next time I see you 6 months later, you pushing 3, then hey, bruh, and I don't want to hear you got a thyroid problem and all that.
No, because you see them eating.
Yeah.
You see them eating.
I mean, you down a bucket of chicken. That's not your thyroid, but
I saw a cat on Instagram. He was at a all you can eat. It was someplace in a small town. All you can eat fish on Fridays. The restaurant put him out, and he was mad about it
why are you mad?
because he was like,
It's all
"It's
you
all
can
you can eat."
I ain't finished eating.
So they talking to the restaurant. They said we've had problems with him before. He doesn't know how to stop. It's like, so
Ate all the
Friday he just
inventory.
wait. He pay his little $20, $25, whatever it is, and he's trying to break these people. And it's like, come on, man. I mean,
That's
yes,
gluttony.
there's gluttony.
That's okay. That's gluttony.
That's gluttony. And it's like, I mean, you're looking at his side of it because, like you said,
I pay.
it does say all you can eat,
But then the crazy part
but
about
not
it is
eat all you can.
you mess around, you let him eat all he eat, and he die. Then his
Not
family gonna
funny.
try and sue you.
Yeah, you should have stopped him.
This ain't liquor. This ain't no
You just-
bar. I'm not cutting
But
you
even with the bar,
Even the bar go cut you off.
the
though.
bar cuts you off because, like you said, they go out and drive and end up
So food
killing
is a
somebody.
little.
But you can go into a food coma and just run off the road too. I mean,
Oh, I'm so
if
sleepy.
I sit there and eat 6 pounds of fish and bread, I'm gonna be,
Wait a minute, what kind of fish was it?
It looked good though. It looked like it
Okay,
wasn't
okay.
like just regular like cod. Like
Cod,
it was
yeah.
like whitefish or something.
Oh Lord.
Because it was a small town, so they was probably getting like good fish
Mm.
and
Oh, okay.
really doing it up. And it was a small little establishment. That's what they're like. Like we a small
There
business.
you go. Take up all the
You know,
inventory.
I'm paying. Look, you give me $20 or whatever it was. I figure you're gonna eat maybe 4 pieces of fish. Okay,
A dinner portion and
You
a
know,
little extra.
I could probably make about $8 off of you still.
Yeah.
But when you start,
He back there standing by the door. Y'all got some hot fish
you
coming out?
eating 4-5 people's
You had a whole family
worth
dinner
of
for
fish.
yourself.
You come in on a Friday afternoon and you sitting there till closing time. You just, come on, man.
You greedy, gluttonous Americans. I think this last one is one, like I mentioned earlier, is something that you hear the word, but not a lot of people know what it really means, and that's sloth.
Mm-hmm.
And basically excessive laziness or failing to use one's talents.
Mm.
And I'm sorry, but the first thing I thought about when it said excessive laziness, fam, forgive me, this younger generation.
Hey,
B, you're the exception. Okay,
I'm
you're
younger
You
generation.
work hard.
you're the
fine. All
outlier.
right. I just got it. It's some of us that work hard, but continue.
However, I did find out, since you say that, a couple of things. Procrastination could be considered slothful.
Ooh.
You
Yeah, I
know,
can see that.
having too much on your plate, and then you realize, I got to get this done. But the laziness will come into play because, number one, you've waited. But if you got a lot of stuff on your plate, that means you're neglecting something else, something that could be or is more important,
True.
i.e. your relationship with God, i.e. your relationship with your family. So that, is where it can get destructive.
Mm-hmm.
I think too, when we talk about sloth, is another characteristic that we could use for United States of America, because we got some people out here that just don't want to do nothing. And
They say we the laziest
unfortunately,
country.
well, and then when you look at politics now, the Republicans and the way they've overhauled things and working toward dismantling Medicaid and Medicare, and all of the people, let's say in small town West Virginia, that voted for him didn't realize that your benefits gonna get cut now. Or if you do get any benefits, you're gonna have to work. And they ain't been working.
I always felt like for Medicare, Medicaid, public assistance, all of that kind of stuff, this abuse really only started becoming a topic in the 80s during the Reagan era, which they were saying,
Welfare queens.
welfare queens,
Yep.
people sitting around doing nothing, And 2 points on that. One, if I'm making a good living, let's say I'm making, at this point in time, mid 6 figures. Okay. If I'm making mid 6 figures a year, a person on welfare is not living like I'm living.
No way. No way.
So why do I really, you're saying, well, I work for mine and they don't, they don't live next door to you. Their kids don't go to schools in the private schools.
nothing
If
to
your
do
kids
with
go,
you
they don't drive
eventually.
what you drive. They don't eat what you eat. They don't go where you go, because they're living, but they're not living like you. So why do you really? Are you concerned? Because you're not concerned about the farmers that you're bringing back in the country to pick your strawberries.
But
why are you concerned about these people?
strawberries $12?
Exactly. So, but let's say you are mad about those people. I always said the best way to combat fraud and waste in public assistance is to hire people who were on public assistance to do the managing. Because they're going to say, I worked my way up. I was able to go to school and do the whatever, take the certifications, do whatever it is to get these jobs. So I'm not going to let somebody abuse it because I used it to uplift myself. So to me, they would be better watchmen of the system.
Yeah, agreed.
Rather than somebody, again, you got a master's degree in public administration and you come and get hired by, one of those public assistance places, you're not looking at people that are generationally on welfare the same because you come from a point of privilege. But if you got people that were in that situation,
Understand.
and it's like, oh, to me that works. That makes sense.
And keeping in mind too that the term is public assistance, meaning that number one, it should be temporary, and number two, it's to help you, not for you to have that as your main source of income.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I think too that, when we talk about all of the 7 deadly sins, we talk about how we and other people can see ourselves in some of them. Hopefully not all of them, but some of
Oh
them.
boy. Yeah.
So when it comes to overcoming them, I got some ideas, like, for instance, pride. One way you can overcome pride is by practicing humility, putting others before yourself, not necessarily always thinking me, 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 me.
Mhm.
When it comes to greed in terms of the 7 deadly sins, being charitable, like, for instance, you got billionaires now that have committed to giving away at least half of their fortune. By the way, all the ones that committed, I just saw a study the other day. I think it's less than a third of them have actually done it.
They working on it.
They're not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sloth, the way that you can combat sloth is HW.
Work hard.
There you go.
That's
Hard
an easy
working,
one.
work hard.
I like that.
Wrath is interesting. One of the ways you can combat wrath, which angers, patience. And, while
Smoke weed.
I wouldn't
Carl.
necessarily call myself,
Take a breath.
I get angry every now and then. So I've been working on patience. And the crazy part is, we all know that when you pray and ask God to help you with something, He gonna give you that test. And for me, I think
Just like in school.
every day I'm being tested with patience.
He working on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Lust.
Flee.
How do you combat that? You can redirect your thoughts, find other activities.
Get a hobby.
There you go. Practice.
It's a new hobby.
New hobby.
Practice restraint. Okay. Keep your hands on the table. How about that?
Move your feet, move your seat.
Gluttony.
active.
Carl, how you think we can combat gluttony?
Don't subscribe to Food Network.
Moderation.
No DoorDash.
Fasting.
Ooh.
That's extreme. You gotta work
Intermittent.
your way
No,
up to
but
that.
intermittent
Yeah.
fasting now has caught on. That's, a lot of people are
That's
having
cool. It's a
success
cool-
with intermittent.
Mm.
And I think this can go for all of them too. Identifying the root cause, but it first starts, I think, with recognizing it in yourself, because that's the only way that you're going
Yeah.
some measure of help is if you, take accountability, Carl, to your point. Combating envy. We can be empathetic. We can be kind.
Practice gratitude.
Yes, replacing those negative thoughts with positive ones. Yeah, I like what you got. So let me figure out how I can get something along those lines.
I think what you said too about, and I had never thought of this really, to be honest. If you see some of these traits in people, identify it, point it out to them. I never thought to do that.
if it's destructive.
If
Nah,
it's, yeah.
I think too that, overall, everybody's got work to do,
Oh, yeah.
but, as we always like to say here, we just here to help. We do our little piece. Fam, this is our ministry. So, we're hoping and praying that you guys have found something interesting that can help you, Don't forget, when you check out the YouTube, like it, subscribe it, share it, throw comments. I'm going to say this about comments, fam. People are talking to us as if we can do something. If you're going to comment, put it in the comments. Don't send, Carl's getting DMs,
I want-
text messages.
And I want dialogue to be in the comments because if we don't answer it, somebody else might.
Thank
But
you.
I'll probably answer it though.
So yeah, drop your comments in the comments. We appreciate you guys. And as always, we want you to stay prayerful, stay positive, stay patient, stay peaceful. See y'all next time.